Hey y'all, welcome back to Let's Talk About It with Kay. I know it's been a little minute. I'm gonna try to start uploading weekly. I would say 2 times a week, but I'm gonna be realistic with my life and everything that's going on now. Um, Once a week. We're gonna have to do it once a week, okay? But once I get more time, definitely I want to start posting more consistently on here. I'm excited to talk to you guys about today's topic. Okay. Oh, look at that lighting. But anyways. Your girl is neurodivine. She has a little ADHD. So I got my notes. I will be reading from these because I cannot remember everything. I wrote down everything I want to talk about, everything I want to go over with you guys. So we're gonna do that. And this topic, I'm excited to talk about talk about it with you guys. So we're gonna talk about how your parents failed you. Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. So nobody wants to say it, but I will. So your parents failed you, and during this video, I would definitely use, well, I only have myself to use, but I would definitely use my experience, my testimony, you know, throughout this video as well. Um, so yeah, the ones who are supposed to make you feel loved, feel safe, feel heard, um, they didn't. And most of the time when people think of a bad parent, they think of the most extreme things like addiction, abuse, neglect, or what's another one? Abandonment. And I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about in this video is something much deeper, something that people really don't see on the outside, and something that does like deeper damage to you, which would be, for my example, not being told, like, you have a parent that is present, but emotionally they're not there. They don't tell you I love you. They don't give you hugs or kisses or, just that motherly or fatherly love that, a child yearns for. Um, I don't know if I said proud of you, but yeah, it just looks like them being emotionally unavailable. They dismiss you a lot of the times, so you don't feel heard. Um, they give you the silent treatment. Love was also conditional. So you will only get shown love, or they will only praise you when you haven't had an achievement, or, you know, you accomplish something that they wanted you to accomplish, you know. For example, my mom used to love to, still to this day, wants to live through me. So she will only show me that, or tell me she's proud of me when I do something that she wanted me to do. You know, um, things like that. So, um, what does this do to you? What does this type of environment do to you? And a little bit about me, y'all. So, a little background story. So, my parents were married. They divorced at 3. However, after 3, my dad moved. He moved back to DC. We stayed in Louisiana. My mom, and I was with my grandmother as well. My grandmother really raised me, but my mom was there as well. But my dad was physically absent, and my mom was emotionally unavailable. And that combo is just diabolical. you know, it's like, what the heck? Like, why was I handled or dealt these cards? I used to question myself that, really, I would say, like, when I was a senior in high school, I'm like, what the heck? What was that? So it wasn't until now, or really a couple years ago, because I did the work, I did the healing. I'm healed now. But I realized what that type of environment or experience does to a person. So you definitely become hyper vigilant. Um, You're always reading the room. You're always waiting for something to happen because something always happens. Because my mom being so, she was just very histrionic. Like she's very narcissistic, very histrionic, very dramatic. She exaggerates everything. She wasn't emotionally available like that whatsoever. So something was always going on. So in that type of situation, I was always walking on eggshells around the house. Mind y'all, I'm the only child. So everything is pointing back to me. You know, something's going wrong, something's missing, something's broken. It's me, you know, even though it was me. But y'all know what I'm saying. But yeah, so even as a child, your nervous system is in survival mode. So since a child, my nervous system was in survival mode, and I remember as a child, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to make my mom yell. I don't want to make her upset. Like I already knew what to do, what not to do. I was very cautious, very observant. Um, you know, and it's crazy now that I think about it. It's so crazy for a child to really just go through that, you know. Um, and also you might even develop CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So I didn't learn about that until a couple years ago because it was some symptoms that I was looking up on Google, y'all. And I'm being very transparent with y'all. Like I have nothing to hide. This is my story. It's my testimony. And yeah, maybe this can help somebody. But I remember ever since really high school or middle school, like my memory is shot. Even to this day, like I'm still I probably need to do some exercises, but my memory is not the best. You know, I really can't remember anything. People would think I'm playing or joking around, or you know, people will joke and say you got amnesia, and I'm just like, no, I really can't remember. Like somebody would say something to me and they'll say repeat it, and I will not remember. I wouldn't know what to say. Like it's that bad, and it's scary and it's embarrassing, you know. So I realized one of the symptoms when you have CPTSD is memory loss, or yeah, short-term memory loss, or you know, your memory is just not good, and it's because your brain has been protecting you. It's protecting you so you don't remember certain events. Because we have CPTSD, it's more complex because you're constantly and repetitively being introduced to traumatic events over and over and over and over again. You know, rather than PTSD, when somebody goes to war, that is the only traumatic experience they'll probably experience, which is, you know, a one-time event. But when you're constantly in an environment like that, it's the trauma just happening all the time, constantly. So yeah, and definitely look that up, y'all. Do some research on that yourselves if you think you may have it, because yeah. um. Also, it may cause you to have low self worth, which I think I experienced in my earlier years. I missed out on a lot of opportunities because I didn't really have that push, you know. I think people seen potential in me, but I didn't see it in myself. And I think because I didn't hear I was proud of you, or I love you, or you can do great things, you can do anything you want to do. I didn't hear those things growing up. I guess I didn't believe that. And I don't know, it's kind of sad hearing me say that, but hey, that's the reality of it. Um, what else, y'all? What else? Yeah, you had to earn your worth. So now, so even navigating through high school and early adulthood, I caught myself oversharing, overgiving, um, shrinking myself. saying that, pretending that, or telling myself that I'm just being humble, And really, I was just shrinking myself, over apologizing. Oh my gosh, I used to do this all the time. I used to say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like, it's just embarrassing. I'm really disgusted with myself when I think about it. But those were the things. That is what this situation can do to you. That is what, growing up with this type of parents I grew up with, having an absent dad and an emotional mom, unavailable mom, and just having parents that failed you in general. Those are some things that will happen to you, but you don't have to always stay like that. Okay. Also, I noticed that you will either attract that into your life or you will become that. So you either will attract that in a relationship or friendships, or you will become just like your parents or parent that failed you. So it's very vital that you heal from that, because you don't want to do either or at all. At all. So for in my situation, I attracted that. So I attracted narcissistic friendships or friends or women in my life. I attracted narcissistic partners. And now that I look back, it was because my nervous system was so used to that, since I was programmed in that environment growing up. Subconsciously, I felt at home when I would meet these people. Like I was comfortable. It was familiar, I wouldn't even say I was comfortable. I would just say it was familiar. So definitely you want to heal that. And also you begin to mourn the parent that you wish you had, and you begin to mourn your childhood, the childhood that you wish you could have had. Like, what could have been different if, you had a loving mother, a loving father, what childhood could you have, could have had. So I used to think about that a lot. What type of person would I be today if I had that? Those stable parents, emotional stable parents, and emotional available parents, present parents in my life. So yeah, you do feel robbed. And I also recap back to the low self-worth. I can't remember if I said this before, but I said I missed out on some opportunities. I missed out on a lot of opportunities. A lot of people wanted me to model. I had people give me their cards. A lot of business um, endeavors I could have partook in with partners and everything. Um, I just never did it because I didn't feel like I was worthy of that. And it sucks because people don't understand, like parents don't understand how much of an effect they have on their children. But now we're going to cover, so what do we do with this information? Now that you know your parents failed you, now you know that, what this will do to you. So you acknowledge it. You accept the fact that, you acknowledge it and accept it that they failed you. Yeah, and stop saying this is, I hear a lot of people say, that's just how I am. That's just how I am. No, because when you say that, that's like a life sentence. And you don't want to accept that. You don't want to claim that. So understand that that's not how you are. That's a wound that you have. And the good thing about wounds, they can heal. So, yeah. Also, you should grieve it. That's what I did. I cried about it. I wrote about it. So growing up, I didn't really have anybody to talk to. I told you I was the only child, just me and my mom. Sometimes it was my grandma with us as well. Most of the time, just me and my mom. But I spent a lot of time alone, and I wrote a lot. I had so many journals. Like my mom used to go to TJ Maxx all the time, y'all, and every time She would go, I would give me a journal. Like that's the only thing I really wanted. Even to this day, I have a problem with journals. I love a journal. But anyways, write it out. You have to let it out. Be angry about it. It's okay to be angry about it. You have to get that out of your system, get that out of your spirit, because if you don't, if you let that grief stay there, it's gonna leak into every area into your life. And you don't want that. You don't want that to happen. And to heal that. And third, reparent yourself. Okay, this is what I did. I rested. Um, I admitted to myself that I don't need their validation. I understood that they were healing, or not even gonna say they were healing because they wasn't. They needed to heal. They were unhealed parents trying to raise me, you know. Um, and I was just giving myself all the love that I didn't receive, giving myself everything that I didn't get. You know, I created boundaries for my parents, and I celebrated myself. For once in my life, I actually began to celebrate myself, feel good about myself, and that's why I'm here now. You know, that is why I'm here, healed, healthy, um, blessed, highly favored. I'm more than a conqueror, victorious, resilient. That is why I stand today, and I'll talk to you guys about this type of stuff because I did the work, I healed from it, and I want to, you know, share some tips or some advice on how you can do the same. You know, also, I also decided, yeah, that it stops here, it ends here. I have children of my own. I don't want to become that person or that parent to my children. So I know that I decided that that was going to happen. So with that, I just decided that it ends here. Sorry, y'all. Pregnancy brain. Anyways, but as I in this video, I do want to let you guys know that you weren't too sensitive. You were not too sensitive. You were not needy. You were just a child deserving of love, and you didn't get that. You know, I got told all the time I was too sensitive, and looking back, I wasn't. I wasn't, y'all. There'll be times where I did track, y'all. My mom didn't come to none of my games, none of my track meets. I did piano as well. I don't remember her any recitals, anything that I had, any event that I had or something. She was not there, and it was no excuse. Like she couldn't say she was working because she wasn't. So I'm just like, why wasn't you there? Why didn't you say, "Oh, I'm proud of you"? You know, it sucks seeing everybody else parent in the bleachers and yours is not there. Well, yeah. Um. So, anyways, know that it wasn't your fault. You weren't too sensitive and needy. Um. The work and healing is not easy, but is the most important work you will ever do in your life. So definitely know that. And also, I want y'all to know if you're watching this video, then you're definitely already doing the work. You stayed this long for a reason, you know? So, yeah, y'all, I think that's it with everything I wanted to cover with you guys. If this definitely hit home or anything like that, please drop a comment or anything like that in the section because I read them all and I love to interact with you guys. If you know somebody who's went through the situation, please share it with them. Like, share, subscribe if you're new here. If you like content like this or anything like that. But now I'm just rambling. But anyways, y'all. Yeah. So with the information, I hope this blesses you. I hope that you heal. I hope that you do the work that you need to do. I love you guys, and I'm gonna see y'all next video. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll talk to y'all later.